There are some small everyday behaviors that are actually pretty disrespectful, and we often do them without even understanding just how disrespectful they actually are. Sure, they may seem unsuspecting and innocent, but when we do these things, they have a negative influence not only on us, but everyone around us. The way you choose to speak, act, behave, and interact with others says a lot about your character overall. So if you think these common habits are actually disrespectful, your parents raised you right. Number 1, looking at your phone during a conversation. Being glued to your phone while someone is talking to you is flat out rude, even if you're just checking something. And studies have shown it actually kills connection. In fact, they found that even seeing a phone on the table can lower the quality of the conversation. So put it in your pocket, or at least out of sight, when trying to have a meaningful connection with someone. If you were raised to actually listen and be present, your parents were doing something right, especially nowadays, because those texts can wait. Number 2, being late. Now, this one's always controversial, and being late doesn't always mean you're disrespectful. Life happens. Traffic, oversleeping, losing track of your keys or bus pass, these things are unavoidable sometimes. Being consistently late, however, sends the message that my time matters more than yours. It reveals your priorities and shows that you're kind of unreliable. If your parents raise you to be on time, respect other people's schedules, and show up when you say you will, then you know how rude lateness can feel. Number 3, gossiping. Yes, some gossip can be bonding, like when you're venting or sharing relatable stuff, and some of our strongest friendships are sometimes forged on the foundation of gossip. Spill that tea! But when gossip turns negative or hurtful, it can become toxic, and when you're constantly dragging someone behind their back, you're more likely to be perceived as not trustworthy. Other people are likely to believe that you're probably speaking about them behind their back as well. If you were raised to instead confront issues directly rather than talking to other people about things behind someone's back, you had great parents who taught you to have open conversations and set boundaries. Number 4, giving unsolicited advice. Many of us like to offer help and advice even without being prompted first. But when someone just wants to be heard, unsolicited advice can come off as dismissive, judgmental, invalidating. It tells the other person, your feelings are a problem I need to solve, not something I'm willing to just sit with. And giving people unwanted or unneeded help can make you seem intrusive and less emotionally intelligent. If your parents taught you to listen first and talk second, you already get it. But if not, one thing that has worked very well for me is to simply ask, do you want support right now, or do you want me to tell you about yourself? Or offer solutions, rather. Most people appreciate the option. Number 5, not saying please or thank you. Not to be all kindergarten, but manners are all about respect, and it seems to be a bit of a dying art. Saying please and thank you shows respect and gratitude, and those make people feel valued. You don't have to fall in line with every outdated traditional etiquette expectation, but these basics help build better relationships because they help others feel valued, heard, and appreciated. Otherwise, you can kind of come across as entitled, like people owe you their time and effort. So if you grew up in a say your thank yous household, consider that a win. Number 6, oversharing. Being open is great, but unloading your entire life story 5 minutes into a conversation or posting your entire life story on Facebook, that can be a little overwhelming, especially to someone you barely know. It's super awkward and uncomfortable. Oversharing is often driven by anxiety or a deep need for connection, but it can actually push people away. We want to build community and feel belonging, so we attempt vulnerability, but there's a difference between vulnerability and trauma dumping. The latter is usually about anxiety. It's okay to seek out deeper connections and meaningful conversations, but it's important to wait until the right time to express certain things. If your parents taught you about what's appropriate to share with others and what's better kept for personal and trusted conversations, they gave you a valuable lesson. Number 7, canceling plans last minute. Now, we all have to do this now and then because emergencies happen, but doing it all the time with no heads up? Nobody's life is that messy, and it quickly feels disrespectful. Much like constantly being late, it makes people feel like they're not a priority and they're expected to just kind of be at your beck and call. If your parents raised you to follow through or at least communicate clearly when things change, they did a great job, as these skills are key to maintaining healthy communication and trust in a relationship. Number 8, being loud in shared spaces. Shouting into your phone at a coffee shop, being openly rude to service workers, blasting videos in public without earbuds, you're annoying everyone around you, and it's super inconsiderate. In fact, it's downright antisocial. And it's also intrusive and arrogant, because it basically screams, my experience matters more than yours. There's been a rise in rude and disrespectful behavior in public in the last few years, according to the Pew Research Center. And this sort of behavior is selfish, disregards community, and lets everyone know you don't care at all about mutual respect. Newsflash, you live in a society and you're really not that special. If you grew up learning to be mindful of others around you, thank your parents, because this too is a dying art. Number 9, venting to someone without permission. Yes, talking things out is healthy, but dumping your emotions onto someone without checking if they have the capacity to listen and absorb that energy, that's a boundary issue. You're basically burdening them with comforting you, but everyone's going through something and they might not be in a place where they can handle doing that for you at the moment. You're basically obligating them to set their own needs aside in order to take care of yours, which we all do for each other at one point or another. That's part of being in relationship with each other, no matter how many people want to come up on social media and insist nobody owes you anything. That's not how relationships work. But asking, do you have space for this? Or even simply, can I vent for a second? That's the respectful move. And if your parents taught you to respect these kinds of boundaries, hats off. And finally, number 10, being sarcastic too often. A little sarcasm can be funny, take it from one who knows, but constant, unending sarcasm is exhausting. It slowly chips away at building better connections and relationships. When you always mask your thoughts and feelings with a joke or a jab, it becomes hard for people to know if you're being real, or if they're the punchline. It can make people feel dismissed or disrespected, and it can erode trust. If your parents taught you to speak kindly, clearly, and mean what you say, that's gold. So how many of these habits are you already avoiding? If your parents raised you to be thoughtful, present, and respectful, you're ahead of the game. And if a few of these hit a little close to home, no shame, we're all learning and growing. Respect isn't about perfection, it's about being aware and having consideration for others. So thanks for being here. See you next time.